Yo, 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 what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, the franchise player, Double B Bad Blood. Guess what? It's Tuesday night, and I'm here
It's
again
Tuesday.
with your boy Throwback. And tonight, I brought the man in the chair himself, Mr. Shane Husky.
It's not even my regular week, and I'm
It is
here.
not even your regular week.
And I'm here. Because I had to watch the NXT Vengeance today. And I gotta
So,
say, what a show.
so let's just start this off like I do with Wicked Crazy Pitfalls. What's up, boys? How you doing?
Pretty
Oh, man.
good.
It's been an
So
interesting
how
day.
was your
Yeah.
lovely Valentine's Day and everything? Yo, shout out to Sean Ross Sapp, man. His Bengals was really close. Ever since I started doing this podcast stuff and I lost that bet to Sean about the jersey and I have it up there, I've kind of been like a pseudo Bengals fan.
You've been a
So
closet
watching
Bengals fan?
them do really good this year was great. I mean, I'm allowed to have 3 NFL teams in my lifetime, so
Is that even allowed?
Bengals is allowed. I'm a Matt Ryan fan, so I've seen him play in Boston College when he was here. So I have a Falcons jersey and a BC jersey with him. So I mean, there's some Boston College athletes in there. So I mean, I just like pulling for people's teams that I actually care about. So, but like you guys said, NXT was really good. Vengeance
was
Day was really good. So, what did you guys think of it?
All right, man, look, let's start out like this. Anytime you start a show off with a fucking steel cage match,
Weaponized.
a weaponized steel cage
Weaponized
match,
cage match.
bro.
My
Look,
God. 100 miles per hour.
I
All
just
the
gotta say
way.
this: WWE, Raw, and SmackDown, y'all need to take notes from NXT because this is how you run a damn show.
Right.
Like I mean, everyone knows I'm not an NXT fan anymore. I'm not a 2.0 fan.
This
tonight-
probably brought back my love for NXT again.
Yeah, tonight a little bit of love, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
look,
miss NXT. I want to give
Pete
it a little
Dunne.
scooch.
Everyone knows I'm not a Pete Dunne guy. I can't stand Pete Dunne personally.
This
But-
was probably his best match in the
Yes.
American NXT.
Yes, I was gonna say this right here is Pete Dunne from NXT UK. That's how good this match was.
Yeah.
Also the fact that your boy Tony D'Angelo,
Tony
forget about it.
D'Angelo.
Tony D'Angelo showed up and showed out tonight.
Yes, he did.
This match was primarily one of those matches that one person won, but they both win anyways.
Exactly.
And to me, for Dunn, this was probably his best match in NXT overall compared to his match against Bates. If you don't know who I'm talking about, look at the Tyler Bates
Damn.
matches he did with him.
You wanna go
Those were
that far?
knockout, drag out UK fights when they first started doing them.
That's high praise, man. That
Yeah,
is no
that's
hyperbole,
high
ladies
praise.
and gentlemen.
Hey, Bates and
This match had everything, and then it also the way the ending of the match intertwined with their story so wovenly and delicately. This is what main roster shit should be. Sorry if I'm breaking a budget or getting beeped or whatever,
Shit
but
is
this
okay.
is
No,
the
no.
same stuff that the main roster should follow, and having
They don't.
little bits of hints and pieces of crumbles all around in this show where they're going to go for stand and deliver was excellent.
I gotta say, man, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And this was one of those shows, and like I said, I'm not one of those people that like that will be all excited about NXT because that's just not me. But I just gotta say, like this show was like the go. It was good.
Yeah, it was awesome. If this was on the Black and Gold and this was on a network, this was probably be a top by the end of the year, one of the top 2 shows for a takeover. If it was just a takeover, period in the year, it probably would be the second best takeover of the year if you had to get when 2022 is out. I think this show is a lot better than a lot of their regular one-off shows. Damn cat freaking back there.
I know how it feels.
I literally believe cold-heartedly that this is probably right up there with the Brooklyn shows that they did for a series up there for the takeovers.
I
just because how with the Brooklyn takeovers back then, they literally wove all these stories into it, and it makes so much sense. This is the first NXT show that I've watched, which is just a 2-hour show special, basically, where it absolutely made sense, and it progressed to what's coming down the pike in the next 2 months. So, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Now, we need to all stand up and hold reserved on me saying this because it's WWE. So
We all know what happens there.
with that being said, they can go 20 steps ahead and 30 back. But for tonight,
Oscar,
if this was going against AEW on Wednesday, I think for the first time, if they was still doing the Wednesday Night Wars, WWE NXT, if it was on Wednesday night, just for this, possibly. Let me finish.
Hold on. Don't even do that.
Let me finish. Could possibly, like a small smidge of possibility of not beating them on a Wednesday night, but evening that gap that they had.
Okay.
I can even out the ratings and everything.
So like instead of being like that huge, no, but not. I'm talking about like for that huge gap, it would have came a little shorter, and people would be talking about tomorrow how close NXT was if it was on a Wednesday to AEW at that point. Now they're on Tuesdays, obviously, but this would be one of those things where people is like, what if this show was on a Wednesday, and how close would it be?
Okay, so let me start by saying this.
The card, Loco in the Cambesa.
Yeah, but you've been drinking. You've been drinking a lot tonight, obviously. The show was actually really good. I mean, like, ladies and gentlemen, you know me. I call a spade all the time. If I think it was a shit show, I'll tell you it was a shit show. But quite honestly, the show was pretty good. I mean, there were a few things that I didn't like about the show naturally, but I mean, to start the show out with a weaponized cage match. I mean, okay, well, let's start from the beginning. They start to show out with a toxic attraction video, right? Mandy Rose,
they always do that with a special NXT show.
They're texting each other about tonight's matches, and it's gonna be on Sci-Fi. Vic Joseph, he comes and welcomes everybody to Vengeance Day wearing his hot pink outfit. Little do you know, he was matching his girlfriend in the background. No one saw that. But I mean, he comes on, and they immediately start the show with Pete Dunne and Tony D'Angelo in a weaponized steel cage match. I mean, dude, they use everything. At one point, Tony D'Angelo legitly zip tied.
Commentary was funny, and that commentary was funny,
bro. D'Angelo got a fire extinguisher, sprayed down in the face. Just it was craziness. But can you imagine wrestling a match in zip ties?
Yeah, that's the thing is that one of the things Barrett and the other guy, I can't remember his name, which is awful for me to do. He was even like, hey, D'Angelo looks like he's done this before a few times. I was just like, oh my God, if this was a bad thing to say on TV.
Right.
Like one of those you can't say on television things. But oh my God, the crowbar fight, and towards the tail end, the
shit
paddle freaking being broken in half. It literally had every little bit of everything. This was almost like I was looking into this match as like the Ambrose Asylum match with Jericho, where it was like everything here, a little bit in there. But this was better. Especially the difference is that with the Ambrose Asylum match, if you go back and look at it on YouTube or on the network, the camera was panned out around mostly, but with zero close-ups right in front. You could tell me and this guy here or whatever pointing direction I am right now are both tech geeks when it comes to that stuff. But having the camera guy physically in there and having 4 people in the ring, just so in certain spots, it was weird, but it made so much perfect sense because you could see how it felt to every individual hit when they pulled out the camera for the normal frames. But the close-ups and stuff and the pans up and the dude, it was perfect. It was like exactly, you could feel every hit that they were doing to each other, but it made so much sense because of the fact that you see each hit and how each spot was set up, even with the camera. It wasn't shaky. It wasn't anything like the main roster stuff would be. It was absolutely, dude, if I was WWE, give that camera guy a raise for even putting his life on the line in that ring.
Right. I would not even go in there. I'd be like, yeah, no thanks. Pay me double.
It's like the franchise versus Parrish, and we put Shane in the middle of the ring with the camera and be like, just pray to God you don't die.
Oh man, gotta pay me triple for that.
Shout out to Parrish, by the way.
Shout out to Parrish. That's right. Look, man. Look, this whole match, outstanding. If I had to give it a grade, I would legitimately give it a B. Pete Dunne won the match, but he hit him with two bitter ends.
Yes.
But there was one part where Tony D'Angelo still had him strapped up with the zip ties, that they were on the ground fighting, and Tony D'Angelo he was choking D'Angelo out, and he reached into the toolbox and grabbed the wire pliers, and he clipped the wire to release him because he was getting choked with the zip ties, and it looked like he freaking clipped his fingers. I was like, oh my God, did he cut his finger? Like these two guys are money together.
Yes.
Please, God, oh please, don't let this be the end of their feud. Let them fight like 2 or 3 more times.
The one feud that we actually like.
It was great.
Well, the thing is that, and you're alluding to this now, so we might as well talk about it. Is that they're hinting at a done Carmelo feud right now?
Well, hold on. See, now you just ruined it because now the fans didn't know who won the match between Carmelo and your boy. But see, now you just
assumingly.
I was saying, they were alluding to it. We don't know who. We know, and the public knows who won that match, but the people who are just watching this later on, at this point, they were alluding to it before anything. So, I mean, we don't know at this point who won the match between Grimes and Mello. So, but if they do Hayes and Dunn, oh my God, that physicality mixed with that athleticism, dude, that has to be your stand and deliver match. That has to be night one.
Well, all these matches are going towards stand and deliver, which is really good.
Which should be on Peacock and not on the USA.
But the question I when we get to I want to ask this too, since I mentioned this, is with Grimes now the way they're setting up. Do you think this validates Hayes' title run, even though it's his first defense, or do you want to hold reserve and judgment for when he goes against Dunn?
Well, first and foremost, let's just go ahead and congratulate Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why, ladies and gentlemen.
That was also very good.
Let me tell you why. There have been 7 NXT North American champions.
And a lot of them are out.
And there has been 2 North American Championship retentions in these title defenses. 2. They just don't give a damn about the NXT North American Championship. No, I'm sorry. 3 now, because Carmelo did it twice. But 3 champions have defended the titles. Johnny Gargano did it once. And then Carmelo Hayes did it twice. It's pretty sad. But, anyway. So then we go to a really cute, like, little video vignette. Raquel Gonzalez calls Cora Jade in the middle of 5 o'clock in the morning.
What are you doing waking me
Why
up?
can't you do it at 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
First
That
off,
sounds like me. That sounds like me on my day off.
First off, why is Cora Jade sleeping with a beanie on?
Right? Who sleeps with the beanie on in there?
So
right now?
Cora Jade gets up and she's like, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. They showed the NXT. They showed the NXT apartment building where all the NXT guys stay, which kind of sucks because now fans can know where they live.
Now everybody know where they live.
But she talks to her about they need 3 wins to win the Dusty Cup, which starts next week, ladies and gentlemen. The Women's Dusty Cup.
Finally.
Should be interesting.
It should be interesting. So Raquel says, "Hey, I've won it before." Blah blah blah. They're doing like a whole bunch of training, and at one point, Raquel goes, Cora, I'm really proud of you. And she turns around and Cora's eating a pastry. And she goes, "You're hungry?" And she slaps it out of her hand.
No.
Oh
Hopefully
man.
that wasn't a toaster strudel.
Yeah, it was funny. It was really funny. Um but basically that was day one. And she looks at her, she goes, "I'm proud of you for hanging on. I'll see you tomorrow." And she's like, "Tomorrow? Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing all over again." She's like, "All right, I'll be here." So
Whew.
these cute little buddy cop vignettes is what I like to call them. Um, was actually really nice. Then we get a pre-recorded promo from, of course, MSK.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes.
not really too excited about MSK these days. I just the whole riddle thing kind of just annoyed me. Then we get a video with Trick
Real.
Williams and
Let
Carmelo Hayes arriving to the venue, and then we get footage of Cameron Grimes walking into the venue. So
Cameron
they're
Grass.
doing. You can see a lot of main rosterisms on
Yes.
this show, which I kind of didn't like.
I thought it was interesting with the whole shirt with like Hayes' shirt with Grimes just sitting back with the old Cameron Grimes photo of him and stuff like that. Um, I I just think that with them two, Grimes and Hayes, I wanted more time with this because I loved how the match went. Went exactly the way I thought. I am I upset that Grimes didn't get a shot at this? Yeah, I'm upset that he didn't get like the opportunity to win tonight. But the thing is that this could also continue on to something else at Stand and Deliver. A good idea that I'll pitch to you guys later. But for me, having these two direct opposites of each other with with different styles, and they meshed so well, made that when they had this match probably the second best match on the night on this card.
Yes.
I will say that. I will agree to that.
Yes.
So then we get back to the ring for the first title match of the night. Now, I'm really opposed to this because the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, Toxic Attraction, they come out with
Toxic
Mandy
Attraction.
Rose. They come out first. Champions should never come out first.
No, they should always come out second. Because if they come out first, then people know that they're gonna lose.
So the champions come out first. Um, fans chant, "We want Gigi."
We want GG.
She was getting Gigi
NXT
Dolan is
fans are
getting a big pop,
ruthless.
dude. Fans love her. I mean, so do I. Fans love her. Like she's so over it. Like I don't understand why. I mean, I know why, but anyway. So then the challengers come out: Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada. Um, it was a pretty decent back and forth tag team match.
It was decent.
I mean, quite honestly, like I'm gonna say this and probably get some heat, so don't at me on Twitter. I mean, fuck it, at me on Twitter. I don't care.
I was gonna say.
Um, this was probably better than any of the Raw women's matches and the SmackDown women's matches.
Yes.
Damn.
Most of the
Like,
NXT
BB,
women's
look at
tag team.
BB being like Carmelo Hayes and calling his shot.
bro, I don't miss. Look,
Most of the NXT women's matches are better than the main roster
I'm just gonna
matches.
say this, and you can come at me if you want to. It's all good. You can try me on Twitter. Just like when I shoot
Love the
promos in person, I
franchise.
kill people on Twitter as well. My Twitter game is strong, so don't at me.
If
You
you want
kill
to know his
people on
Twitter,
Twitter, but you don't kill the people that you care about on Twitter. You build them up even if they do something
You're
wrong.
supposed to, yeah.
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 So these remember when we had this conversation, Shane, a couple weeks ago about the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, and I
Oh
said
yeah, how they
they
don't
were a
matter.
mistake. They were a mistake
Yes,
because when we had the Golden Role Models,
that was great,
they defended the titles on all three brands: Raw,
and everyone
SmackDown,
was
and NXT.
watching. Everyone was
Yeah.
watching.
So they made the tag team belts mean something. And I was one of the big proponents of don't give NXT women's tag team titles because you got Raw and you got the champions at Raw and SmackDown coming down there. There should be one singular set of tag team belts.
Yes,
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. As pretty as those women's world tag team belts are,
They are pretty.
They're nothing. They're just pieces of metal on leather. They mean nothing. These NXT women's tag team titles should be the main tag team titles for the women because
Yes.
Gigi Dolan and JC Jane are making those belts mean something and making them matter. They're having they're having kick-ass matches. Their storyline is on point. Like they are making the belts matter. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, they defend the belts like all the time.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
I've seen 2 WWE Women's Tag Team title defenses in the last 7 months.
So does that mean the main women's tag team champion were a mistake than the NXT women's tag team
Yes,
champion?
I'm full on saying that the women's tag team titles right now should be they should drop those belts on the main roster and let the NXT tag champions defend them all
Yeah.
over the rosters.
I totally
Or
agree.
better yet, I can go one step further. Having them unified, both of them together, and keep the NXT logo on that,
And have
just to keep
Selena
it.
Vega and Carmella show what they're made of.
Hey,
on
that's a
NXT.
fantasy booking right there, man. Shane,
Yeah.
literally, you could fantasy book the main roster women's tag and the NXT tags for Mania and be like, who wins?
Yeah. Actually have Selena Vega and Carmella show their showcase. That is not under 5 minutes.
Man.
I agree that the NXT titles are. Let's just say this overall: tag team in general in NXT across both genders
Yes.
are literally a lot stronger. It is on the main roster, and
Definitely.
as much as it stinks to say that I'd rather keep it this way, we don't know what WWE is going to do, and I pray to
They don't know what they're
God,
gonna do.
They
Yeah.
don't know. That's the thing.
but I pray to God that they don't just drop the ball on this. I just think let these guys go, build up the women in the Dusty Cup, and
Yes.
let it rip. Let these people go. I did like the vignette though for the Dusty Cup that they were hinting at trying to get tag teams because I like the idea, and this is a little crazy. Wendy Chu and Dakota Kai have grown on me right now to the point where it just
Oh my
seems
God.
so interesting.
Let's no
I haven't seen
don't jump the
Dakota
gun,
Kai.
guys. Don't jump the gun. Let's go to that when we get to that because my oh my, I was so excited for this.
That
fucking
whole
I know
love
we're
Wendy
dropping
Chu.
here and there, but that's what makes it a little fun, a little more crazy.
yes.
I love Wendy Chu. I'm just gonna say it right now, ladies and gentlemen. If
Wendy
you don't know
Chu's
who Wendy
great.
Chu is, you better go ask somebody. I love Wendy Chu. She is the funniest. Like she just walks up, sucking on her fucking water bottle, and she walks up, "Hey, loser!" like wow. And she did it. It was so funny because she did it in such a snarky like way of doing it, but it was like,
Sarcastic.
hey, loser. And then she's like, then Dakota Kai is talking to herself, and she's like, yo, so I got an opportunity for you because my partner just dropped out, and you, me, Dusty Cup, and she's like, yeah, it'd be fun, me and you, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And Dakota Kai legitly was having an argument with herself, and that's what made it funny.
Was little Jimmy in the backstage area with
It was
Dakota
little
Kai?
Jimmy. It was cousin Jane. It was Jimmy
Lily.
John. It was Billy Bob. It was it was all of them. It was everybody.
Lily.
Yeah. Anyway, so this women's tag team match gets crazy to the point to where the ref sees Mandy Rose interfere and tosses her out.
Yeah.
That's kind of predictable a little bit.
Of course, of course it was. But in the end, I don't know what happened, but Parada was like she went to spear Gigi Dolan off the top turnbuckle. He knows with the spear and JC Jane jumps Parada on the back. And for some reason, Indy Hartwell gets bumped outside. Like I don't know, like she was gone for like the last 2 minutes of the match.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense at
It
all
made
in
no
that
sense
spot.
at all. I was like, okay, so that was their big screw up because it was like there.
It made a really, really good match to like okay, well they messed that up, but why did that happen? It's like you question it. But the overall match was great, and then it led to the vignette afterwards which with everything with Loomis and stuff like that. But it's seeming like this is the way they're heading. They're heading to, the semifinals that they're basically hitting at the 4 teams that they're probably going to put in there for it.
Exactly. I kind of saw that coming.
But it's just well worth having, different styles in the Dusty Cup. So it's, for me, I'm looking forward to the women's one. The men's one was amazing. So I was going in, but we were talking about this, BB, is that it literally, I thought, and I was hoping the women's side would be better than men's. Now I'm kind of like stand back in shock that I was pretty wrong, because the men's, after the whole thing we'll talk about a little bit later, was just, the whole tournament top to bottom was amazing. And it's just, I'm completely in awe of this whole aspect of it. I wish the main roster had this. It instead of having
Everyone wishes
multiple
that.
having like gaps where you're just having transition promotions and all stuff in between, or programs here and there in between, instead of matches and stuff, having just like have them get ready to do a tournament. They did the whole thing with the King in the Ring. Bring back another tournament and have more and stakes. Hell, Adam Schefter, freaking AK Braun Strowman, still has that freaking green ass title belt. He is the longest reigning champion in that company.
Hey, remember that. Remember, he's the winner of the greatest Royal Rumble ever.
Yeah,
50 people.
Yeah, 50 people.
But he's technically he puts out there sometimes, I'm the longest.
He held that title for 2,366 days.
So I think that this match is going to run back. It might be in a couple of weeks. I think that they're going to try to clean up a couple of things just to prep this up, because the Dusty Cup has a long way to go until it's finished.
Yes.
But I think just to keep Toxic Attraction, other than, in your screen primarily, they're going to put other tag teams or, trios in front of every of them in there. So I wouldn't be surprised you seeing, Kylie Ray and Io Shirai with, someone else or something like that in that scenario. I already told you who I thought was going to win the women's. As soon as they hint that, they have a horrible track record of letting you know, hey, we want them to win, but then if something bad happens, we have to figure that out later. Mm-hmm. It's just, they had Thatcher and Ciampa. If they were in the Dusty Cup the year that year, they would have won it. They were hinting at they wanted them in there. It just, some reason it didn't work. So I'm ecstatic though, because at least with the way everything else is being set up for this tournament, it's going to be funny, it's going to be fun, and there are going to be some spots, especially with certain performers in this, that's going to make you be like, oh my god, this is so good.
I'm excited for this Women's Cup, because it's going to be, how can I explain it, ladies and gentlemen? You ever just like get excited about an event and you're excited because you can see great stuff about to happen?
Yes.
Well, that's how I am about this Women's Dusty Cup. I'm excited for the simple fact that these women that are going to be in this Dusty Cup, dude, it's going to be so awesome, because you get women. Okay, the WWE has a very bad way of putting women in matches. They have a very horrible way of showcasing women in professional wrestling. In this Dusty Cup, you have no choice but to showcase these women in a very positive, very very visual way. Don't do like you did on the main roster with 2-minute matches and 3-minute matches and 3-minute squash matches. This is going to be like a women's tournament. And isn't it funny how the Women's Classic is happening at the same time that AEW announced that they were doing the Owen Hart Memorial Cup?
Yeah, it is kind of interesting that how that is.
Character
And,
issues.
and on top of that, there's been a load of news coming out of AEW today. So
Oh yeah.
Well, look, you know what? So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this real quick because I said
Oh
something
my
earlier.
god.
I said something earlier, and I just want people to know that I'm not hating because I'm not going to be one of those dudes. I'm not a WWE or AEW stan. I'm not going to be like either or, either or. I'm going to say this: Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes are now
Homelander.
gone from AEW. I think Cody is gone from AEW because he wants to pursue running for office. Like
Oh.
either the governor of Georgia, senator of Georgia, whatever one. He wants to run for office. He's been talking about that for years. Okay. And, he's just burned out. He's burned out on wrestling. I get it. We all get that way.
Yeah.
If you've ever been in a wrestling ring, trust me, you're probably burned out from wrestling. But in the grand scheme of things, if Cody does decide that he's gone from professional wrestling, he does pursue that. Awesome. You know what, Cody Runnels? Fuck it. Cody Runnels, congratulations. You and Brandy go live your life. You guys have a beautiful kid. You guys have dogs.
Yes.
You guys have a beautiful home. You've made a
Pharaoh.
life for yourself outside of professional wrestling. Kudos. But only off chance that he decides to go back to the WWE, I foresee two things happening.
Oh.
One, he goes back to WWE and he gets a great run. Vince is like, yo, we stole him from AEW. Let's give him a fucking stellar run. Or two, he shows back up as fucking Stardust.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Now,
so
we all know Dust. We all know Vince. Vince is one of those guys that is very vindictive. Now,
Glad to have you back, Cody.
remember, Cody has gone to the lengths of getting pay-per-view names, like buying, like licensing for AEW. He's stolen names from the WWE in their eyes. Things that Dusty Rhodes came up with. He was like, "Yo, I want War Games. You're not gonna give me War Games? Great. We'll call it Blood and Guts. Oh, you're not gonna give me the Bunkhouse Stampede? Great. We'll call it Stadium Stampede."
Stadium Stampede.
He did all these things to counteract the WWE and what they were doing when they wouldn't release certain intellectual properties. So when these properties came up for these trademarks came up, it was like, yo, we're gonna get these trademarks because WWE forgot about them, and we're gonna do this. Oh, I finally got the name Rhodes from the WWE. Now I own the name Cody Rhodes. The Vince is gonna be like, hey pal, you really got one over on me, pal. So welcome back, brother. We're gonna go ahead and give you
and
push,
all
pal.
these
He's not gonna do that shit.
All these
We all know.
so-called Cody Rhodes haters are now flipping the side, saying, "Oh, yeah, we were big Cody Rhodes fans, even though after 3 years you all been bashing on him for being in WWE
So
for AEW."
I'm not going to begrudge anyone going back to WWE.
Right.
If you want to make your money, go make your money, boo boo.
Exactly.
But
it all comes down to money.
He's going to come back. If he comes back to WWE, I just foresee this, and this is just me. I could be completely wrong, and I probably am. Although I am the predictions champion, I predict a lot of good shit. I could be wrong. I do predict that if he goes back to WWE, he's going to fucking debut as Stardust. Just to piss him off. Vince is going to promise him all these wonderful things. I'll let you run NXT. Yeah, you can have your own brand like you did at AEW, and shit on him. So,
I honestly think, and I put this out on when FIFA went on live, Sean went on live to talk about this early this afternoon, that there's a couple of things I could see happening with Cody, and I wanted to point this out. If Cody takes some time and stuff like that, the politics thing, I could see that happening. I could see him being in Georgia running for office or somewhere in the country doing it. I think the other thing is that there's one place I believe he's never been to, and it would be an interesting idea, is that him going to New Japan Strong or New Japan in general for a short period of time, for a short run.
New Japan.
Yeah, he has been in New Japan.
Not New Japan Strong. That's fairly new, I believe.
Well, I get you on that.
But I was using the New Japan umbrella as a whole kind of thing, but just focusing on Strong is an idea for him to go do that because of the fact that he could do so much stuff there. I think if he does come back to WWE, I think it's just going to be as him, as not as Stardust, as much as Vince can be very vindictive. But I think him being a very creative person, and as much as Vince shits on his family all the time, I think
Fire my own son.
I know. Well, I'll get to the point of this. I think Cody will end up doing what his dad did eventually with NXT and help develop more talent down the line. So that way, when Cody wants to be away from it all, he can do the same thing like Punk is doing, where it's like, oh, I want to be I wonder what it'd be like to be with that person. I helped develop them, but I've never had the opportunity to face them. That kind of mentality.
Right.
So, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm, just so long as he's happy and healthy, Brandy and his kids and everybody around him, so okay, that's all that shit matters.
Yeah, really. And shouldn't have to be about what the fans want, it should be about what they want.
So, since we got off the track for a second, like we always do sometimes, we were talking about the women's tag team champions title, but let's get into the Dusty Cup final right now, since we were talking about tag teams and stuff. And I'm eating a shit ton of crow tonight because God, I thought MSK could do it, and that match was so perfect to me. This
it was really
was the
good.
match of the night. This
Hey,
led up to everything I thought it would be.
Let me say something real quick. I don't know if you guys remember Mickey J. He was a referee for SmackDown, for WCW. He passed away yesterday.
Oh.
MVP just posted it right now. So, yeah, rest in peace, Mickey J. It's been around for a long time. He was a SmackDown referee. Started with WCW. A lot of people didn't agree with his political, a lot of people didn't agree with his politics. But hey, yeah. So anyway, rest in peace to Mickey J. Anyway, okay, so go ahead and go back to what you were saying. I just want to get that out before we got further into forgetting about it.
No, it's okay. I thought this tag match for the final for the Dusty Cup was the match of the night. For me, I had high hopes going into it. How physical, how fast paced it could be at times and stuff. It basically continued the story on for the Creed brothers to go into Imperium for Stand and Deliver. What happened after the match, I didn't expect with this whole situation that's now starting up. And that's important because that sets up something else. This whole block right here that they had set it up 2 or 3 matches down the line, which is absolutely amazing because you don't get that on the main roster at all.
No.
And for me, I think the idea of having MSK and the Creed brothers feud for a couple of weeks before, Imperium comes into play for Stand and Deliver. I will call this now, and I'll say this. At Stand and Deliver, don't be shocked that you have a triple threat match for the NXT tag titles. Somehow MSK figures a way to finagle their way into it, like kind of just like, say we were close, and then they figure a way to do it.
Right.
Look,
but
I don't. This is just me. I really and truly don't want MSK in the tag team scene, the top tag team thing right now. When they were champions, they were fucking annoying. Like, they have great matches, but people are so burnt out on them. I'm glad they lost the Dusty Cup.
Me too.
Like, it's oversaturation. You put them with Riddle. They have a good match against Imperium, with Riddle, but at the end of the day, dude, they were the champions last year. They won the Dusty Cup last year. What did they do? What did they do last year? Nothing.
The question I have for you is that Creed Imperium happens tomorrow. Who eats the pin? Which team out of the teams? You're not going to take the belts off of Imperium this early. You might take it off at Stand and Deliver, but you won't take it off now. If you put MSK in that situation, They're bulletproofed in WWE's minds right now in NXT to where they're the tag team version of Seth, where Seth, you put Seth in a match and any triple threat or whatever type of match it is, and if he eats the pin, he still looks fine. MSK for in the tag division, for me, they're the Seth Rollins of that because they could eat this pin in a triple threat match. The Creeds would still look strong, and you keep Imperium still in great space. It's like that situation I said earlier. All of them two of them can lose and one can win, but all of them come out freaking amazing. That's why I said don't be shocked if some way, shape, or form it turns into a triple threat at Stand and Deliver for the NXT titles because they don't want to have the young. If Twitter just literally, I'll say this: if they put the Creed brothers and Imperium in there by themselves with the Creed brothers, the match will be phenomenal. But people will say after that match that NXT figureheads buried the Creed brothers just to keep quote unquote Gunther, or how the hell you say it, keeping
Gunther.
Imperium happy.
Gunther.
Because they want to keep, I'm going to call him Walter, screw it. Keep Walter and the rest of them happy to keep them on stateside. This is why MSK can do this. They can go into that match, eat that pin in that triple threat. You save the Creed brothers from people, and as much as WWE doesn't care about people's opinions, it keeps the Creed brothers still looking strong. It keeps Imperium happy, and MSK is willing to eat that pin because they know that they can push the narrative to the next thing.
Now, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with 75% of what you're saying.
I'll take 75 because the last couple of times I've only gotten 0.
But the 25% that I don't agree with is this: with AEW just had a tag team title match last week. It was the Gun Club, the Ass Boys versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
Yeah, Jurassic Express.
The Ass Boys whooped their ass all over the ring. And
yes, they did.
The near falls were so close that if you sneezed, it was a 3 count. It was that close. That was so much excitement. They drew 1.1 million views, or 1.15 million views on AEW Dynamite on Wednesday because of matches like that. AEW Rampage had their highest views.
PCW Wrestling in the chat.
They had their highest views in a long time last week because of the segment with those tag team title matches. Because see, when you have matches like that, people are genuinely like, oh shit, what can happen? Dude, I'm sitting here in front of my computer like, oh my God, they won. Oh my God. Wait, no, they didn't. Oh God. And I'm a professional wrestler. I know the story. I know the spots. I know what's going to happen. But I was so invested because it was a coin toss. Anybody could have won that match. Anyone could have won that match. And that made it so fucking exciting as opposed to WWE putting the New Day versus Rick and Joe Jobber from down the street. Rick and Joe Jobber are going to lose. So are you excited to see that match? No. So if you put Imperium and the Creed brothers in the match, that right there creates such a buzz that, wow, one of them has to lose. One of them is going to be the top guy, and one guy is going to have to take a step back. You throw MSK in there, the first thing you're going to say is, well, MSK is going to try to take the pin. So that right there takes the excitement out of the match for me because now I know who's going to lose.
Who?
See what I'm saying?
I understand your point, but I'm also saying that it's WWE logic.
WWE logic is they'll put fucking Bob, Joe, and Billy Bob in the ring with them. Then they'll add the two random dudes from NXT or 2 random dudes from 205 Live. They'll get the janitor that's sweeping the floors over there and the guy selling the popcorn. And those guys are gonna all get their asses beat. So am I gonna want to sit and watch that match? Probably not. I'm probably gonna turn the channel and find something interesting to watch because I already know the outcome. It's like that SmackDown this week. SmackDown this week was recorded, and the WWE already said that, hey, the Intercontinental Championship match, Sami Zayn won the Intercontinental title last week. So when
Why
that
would
segment
you
comes on,
even?
guess what? No one's gonna fucking care.
I'm not even gonna watch the show.
People are gonna change channel. So if that segment came on the same time that Rampage was coming on, guess what people are gonna do? They're gonna switch to Rampage. So you just lost viewers.
Or they're gonna check out that new NXT Level Up on Peacock now that they put out.
Yeah,
I was gonna get to that too.
My
That's
friend sent
pretty
me a
stupid.
photo of that.
That's pretty stupid. You're gonna
Level
do
Up.
NXT Level Up. That's great. Another fucking show. You can put that show on the same time you're putting on SmackDown.
That's kind of risky.
Yeah, like no one's gonna watch that show.
No,
If Rampage has got
you're
CM
just
Punk,
killing your own show.
if Rampage has CM Punk, and they have Bryan Danielson, and they have they have Bryan Danielson, they have CM Punk, they have, let's say, Darby Allin, they got Hook. Are you gonna really put NXT Level Up against Hook?
No.
Because guess what? People want to see Hook. They don't want to see
everybody knows
another fucking NXT show. God damn. We're gonna watch it on Tuesday, and we're gonna watch it on Friday too. That's just another few hours of WWE writing. Oh God. No one's gonna watch it.
Why
That's why I love the fact that it's on the network and you really don't have to watch it live because you can just watch it whenever you feel like it on the network.
Right.
Yeah, but that's just it. They want you to watch it live because they want those numbers. They want the ratings.
Yeah, well,
not gonna happen.
It's going to be difficult because especially for people like us, where for a good example, you're covering, Rampage and SmackDown. What are you going to do? Cover all three of them? You're going to have to pick and choose. I think for the most part, a lot of pieces like, Body Slam net here. A lot of the content then will probably fall for the NXT Level Up show. Will probably be like later on the next day for people who have watched it, talking about it on like a morning show or something like that. That it's most likely going to end up being a Saturday morning kind of thing or a late Saturday night or something
so like
down
Saturday
the line.
Morning Slam that they used to do.
Oh, those were so good.
That only 3 people watched, including Throwback.
Drew is in the chat. Hey, Drew.
Yeah, Drew. Yeah, it's a new NXT show.
Gross.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew, if you want, you can pop on. Just let us know. But yeah, it's just, what are you going to do? I mean, how is it going to be covered? What is going to be different than the regular 2.0 thing? If they're going to literally go all in on a new show, that means you're going to have WWE content now twice on Fridays. You have Monday,
I agree.
Tuesday.
3 shows one day, kind of dumb.
You have Monday, Tuesday, and Friday now. So now what? You're going to end up losing that, and you're going to end up moving it to what? Inebriation Day, St. Patrick's Day. What I mean, what it's got to fall into a certain pattern just so you could stay away from like AEW and stuff like that. I mean, it's WWE. It's their logic.
When is Vince gonna realize he rips all these scripts because he has way too many damn shows?
By the way, going back, because we were cutting off the rails, go back to the MSK thing. Malcolm Bivens' facial expressions. Oh my God. So perfect.
Oh my God.
He was so happy. He was so happy.
He was saying, "Oh my God. Oh my God.
I finally
won
something."
Oh man.
It's literally like a literal kid opening a gift at Christmas and literally just getting all excited about it because how cool it is.
He literally had
that's what
tears
reminded
out
me.
His eyes.
The sliding clothesline was really good spot. You could hear both people, the MSK, both of them for that front flip or back flip off the apron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh
he's like,
God.
you could hear on the microphone across from commentary, push me off, like push me, and then all of a sudden he does it and just pushes him right off and lands. It literally is, this match was literally the best night. The way it ended, the drama in it, you like keeping one person away and stuff. I was thoroughly entertained in this. This lived up to the hype for me, and I'm so happy to see the Creed brothers winning it.
Me too. I really wanted
thought
Tree Brothers to win.
MSK was going to pull this out, but again, I'm eating a really big size Irish crow right now. How dare you hate on MSK? They're wonderful. Whoever hates on MSK, I will come in.
I hate on the masking tape kids.
MSK sucks.
MSK, my sorry kids. That's what they
My
are.
sorry kids. That's what it stands for.
So,
must suck kids.
so going back to all the segments for hinting at about the women's Dusty Cup, it was coming after, but we'll get to that again in a second. But after the match, Imperium standing out there talking about how they're excited to face the Creed brothers, how much pain they're going to put them in. Walter, I'm not going to call him Gunther.
Yeah,
sorry.
Walter. Just like we don't call
it literally says that he's looking very interestingly into the NXT title, watching Breaker and Santos Escobar. And
who came out?
One of the Usos came out, not the twins, but the cousin.
Interested in this
Solo
match
Sikoa
right
is the gimmick name they gave him, but I'm not gonna call him that. So he came out. He was like,
tall. He's almost tall as Walter. That's the crazy part.
He's a
so
tall
basically,
boy.
he came out and he was like, "Yo,
I don't care who you are.
You want this work? You want this work?" Like he's like, "I don't give a damn about that mat being sacred.
I want to make you my bitch."
He's like, basically, I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna punch you in the face and make you my bitch.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see.
I'm excited
this
to
match.
see this match.
All of a sudden, you're just gonna hear.
And the fans, dude, look, the WWE.
So
here's
good.
the thing. Here's the thing. Fans, if you're watching this show, if you're listening to us on any one of the podcast platforms or any one of the audio versions, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm going to say.
Listen.
I love you guys. You guys are all great. You guys are fucking top notch. You guys are amazing fans.
Do we like
Vince McMahon thinks you guys are stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Because fans are chanting as Walter is in the ring saying, "My name is Gunther." Fans are chanting Walter.
They're not going to say Gunther. They're
not going to.
No.
They're chanting Walter, okay? And Solo Sikoa, we all know that he's the third Uso.
The Trace.
He's the third Uso, like legitly. The Uso brothers the Usos are his brothers.
I hear they're trying to speed him up to the main roster so that he can join the bloodline and everything.
So when he comes out to the ring, fans are chanting Uso. Now we all know Uso. We all know Uso means brother.
Yeah.
So the fact that the fans are chanting Uso, he looks like the fucking Uso brothers.
Legitimately.
He uses a super kick and a top rope splash.
Mm-hmm.
Just let him be an Uso.
Let him.
Just like Braun Breaker, let him be a Steiner. Just let
Rex Steiner.
Let
you had the name, but you had to change it to Braun Breaker. God damn it.
Be. So fans were going on about it. And honestly, man, when Solo Sikoa came to the ring, he said, "I don't care if your name is Gunther. I don't care if your name is Walter. He says, you're the ring general. Well, since you've been the ring general, how about I come in there and make you my bitch?"
He literally said, "I'm like, wow."
And Walter was like, "Yo,
has he been watching Babylon's promos?" It's like I hear Babylon in my ear.
Walter was like, "Yo, step back. I got this." So I'm here for that. I am here for that. Hey, we're all stupid. We keep watching and talking about it. I've gotten over it at this point. It's like an abusive relationship, bro.
Right. And these stands that are out
there. It's the definition of insanity. It's basically repeating the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different change.
You do nothing wrong. What are you talking about?
But I mean, I get it. They're trying to build up his character, and Walter is literally the unstoppable force. He is NXT's Andre the Giant, kind of, if you look at it that way. They would put freaking people up in front of Andre to build them up. If Andre liked them, Davey would be like, cool. If he didn't like them,
Oh my God.
oh boy, you don't want to be in front of him when he's mad.
No.
I think they want to give Sikoa an opportunity to get into that idea.
challenge.
And
Just as
Shane's
done with
right. I wouldn't
Bo.
be shocked that they're trying to fast track him to get up there before they decide to disband the Bloodline storyline up on the main roster, to have him up there with them. And, you know, they're doing it probably too quickly than they should. They should just let him just take his time and stuff like that. But you're right. It doesn't make any sense. The match, when it does happen, that will
It's gonna
be
be
awesome. That will
outstanding.
be
It's gonna,
extremely physical. But
it's gonna be brutal, hard hitting, non.
but I want to see someone other than that family holding a major title that isn't like a tag title or the universal title. I want somebody with like a mid-card title kind of holding it, and that way they can say, hey, look at us, we have all the gold now.
Have him hold the
And
IC champion.
if it's really something like a mafioso kind of thing on the main roster with that, you would literally have every family member in there draping with something or holding something. You know, it's just it's going to be an awesome match regardless with him and Walter. I am excited for it, and that seems like it's pushing the narrative because that might be Walter's stand and deliver opponent. And then the vignette that happened with Tommaso and Ziggler, I am so excited for it, but I wish they just held this out for a little longer. But you know, they did announce the match. We are getting Ziggler and Ciampa next week, which that has to go at least 30 minutes. Has to.
Yes.
So one of the things is that I hinted at earlier was Wendy Chu. The Hoo Chews are out there going caboose caboose. Let's get that chew going. She literally was there talking about, you know, the cup. Her and Dakota, of all the pairings in this tournament, her and Dakota are the most interesting ones because they can have Wendy fall asleep in the middle of the show, and then have Dakota talk to herself. So you have a narcoleptic character, and you have somebody who has schizophrenia.
And then they're supposed to be like, "What the hell are we supposed to do with this?"
It's going to be an interesting thing. The one thing also we didn't touch about is the whole thing of
Grayson Waller.
Waller and Knight next week, because
let's not even talk about
that whole thing.
That whole scenario was just a waste of time.
Yeah,
it was
that's what I was pointing at, because the reason why I pulled this, I wanted to put this out is that because last week we were talking about this, about how both people have to like agree to it. And then LA Knight's like, I read this thing at page 2 says he is not allowed to touch me. There's the footage. Points out, looks at it, gets the freaking jump over the barricade, roll up, pop up stunner on LA Knight. And I'm like, and the cops are just, it's like one of those things, the cops looking at each other and just like put their hands up and walk away.
You broke the agreement.
It's not even that. It's just, it's the same storylines all the time. So, so the
dummy, yeah.
So main event, I thought it was a really good main event, and how it all broke down. Very physical. I can't believe how quick that freaking Braun Breaker is. I can't believe how quick, like the fast steps and stuff like that. That 4.3 speed they said he has is insane. So what did you guys think of this match?
I'm sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of Santos Escobar getting ripped off.
My guy, Santos Escobar.
I'm tired of him getting ripped off.
Yeah,
he should have won, even if it was by disqualification or whatever. I'm just sick and tired.
He should have won after that damn super kick.
Right? Because that guy keeps delivering stellar matches. He's been around longer than most of the guys in NXT right now.
Yeah, he's been around since in the black and gold brand.
When they had that feud with Hit Row and all that bullshit,
that was a good match.
That was one of the great. That was one of their good shit. It was
yeah.
It was good, but I'm so sick and tired of him getting the shit end of the stick. It's
I
just I
mean,
don't know.
I agree with you. He hasn't held like a major title
Anything since he's been
since
there.
he held he held the cruiserweight title for a while. But I think he deserves at least a shot at either again at the North American Championship or another shot at this title. They're
Seriously, at least someone's agreed with me.
making him more like Thrill says almost like a joke. Like they see him big somewhere, but they don't see him big right now. The problem is that there's a log jam of talent right now. So what are you going to do? You're better off bringing him up and making it meaningful for him to go after a title and have the whole faction go up. Now the problem is, look what they did with Hit Row. So I'm kind of like, ugh. But
I felt bad
it,
for the entire hero
but
got released. That was should have
but
kept him.
this Ziggler's super kick was thunderous. You could hear it
That was
off
a
the
good
mic.
super
That
kick.
was it. Ciampa literally pulling him out, then starting fighting. Obviously, I the way this match went was exactly the way I thought it might have went, with certain
Shenanigans.
tweaks here and there. But I'm very happy that Breaker is still the champion, which means that we could possibly
I'm
get
not.
a match with Ciampa versus Breaker, or it's going to be
Fatal
Ziggler.
4-way.
It's going to be Ziggler at Stand and Deliver, but I have a funny feeling there'll be a triple threat, and either that or they'll try to need an emergency match, and they'll probably put the NXT title and have Breaker defend it at Mania against Ziggler on night 2.
I don't foresee that happening.
Yes, I agree with the 2 comments that just popped up.
I agree with you, Drew, in the sense that he should be NXT champion. Escobar should be beforehand, but I think
Santos
this
Escobar.
is.
Come on.
But I think this is like how it was with the women's during the beginning of the women's revolution, when you had Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha up, and then eventually Bayley, and then they bring Alexa, who has never had a title run, and after the brand split happened, and she was drafted to SmackDown, and then she went off to the races and became the goddess and won a SmackDown Women's Championship against Becky. So I mean, I have a funny feeling that's probably going to end up his track, where the same path is where he won't have an NXT championship and move all the way up there. So, but pretty much that's NXT in a nutshell. So overall, it was an amazing show.
Yeah.
Um, it was a really good show. I mean, I'm guessing that this is their version of a their kind of version of a I wouldn't say a takeover, because it wasn't a takeover version at all, but this is their version of a big time show. And some of the matches on point. I agree with a lot of the matches they had. The way they structure some of the matches, good.
They're all
They brought in
pretty
Braun
good.
Breaker, the way they brought in Braun Breaker to make him look good, even when
And he set the fire of the Vengeance Day
well,
sign.
not even that stupid stuff. Like, I'm talking about in the ring action. It made him look good as a first time, first defense of his title. It was okay. It wasn't great. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, he's the next fucking
John
great
Cena
world champion,
yeah.
you know. He looked capable of being the champ, but to me, he still doesn't look like the face of the brand.
I think they already have the face of the brand. The best quote of the line is, I think Ziggler said it, is that Ciampa is the pulse of NXT. So I think they have their face of the brand, they think, with Ciampa, a little bald and rugged head of his. But I honestly believe that Breaker can be the same thing with Ciampa. It's going to take time. That's why I'm more reserved on his development than having a lot of people saying you need to bring him up. You need to bring him up. He's not AJ Styles. I'm sorry. He cannot skip NXT and go straight there. There are very few people that have the ability to do it, or they choose not to and they go to NXT. It's not like the way it used to be, where it's like you expect every single person who's your indie darling, quote unquote, to be on the main roster right away. There are very few exceptions. Like, the best way to just put it with AJ is that AJ was the Alex Rodriguez, young Alex Rodriguez, drafted, or LeBron that was drafted out of high school and went straight up to the majors, or went to the NBA. That's Even though AJ has had a long career before that, I'm just saying,
Well,
just for some people, it was equated to that
quite
instead of
honestly,
having him going to NXT.
anyone that looks at AJ and says that he should have went to NXT is fucking crazy, because there was no way Vince could bury AJ Styles as
No,
being a legend in the industry. Vince
but
can be like,
no.
"Oh yeah, we made those guys. We made those NXT guys." No one in their right mind, no one would be like, "Oh, I don't know who AJ Styles is." Yeah, he's an NXT
If you
guy.
don't, you're
Everybody,
crazy.
Give me a break. If they sent him to NXT, bro, that would be like sending um Mike Tyson to, like, Mike Tyson's won all these boxing championships and he's like one of the greatest boxers of all time, right? Hey, let's go ahead and send him down to the Golden Gloves. It's like saying Brock Lesnar is an MMA champion. Let's go ahead and send him down to the IFC. you know, let's send him
but
down to
but
those fights over in Bakersfield where they draw like 25 people. Like, that's ridiculous. No one's gonna believe that.
but that's what the point was, is that there are very few people that they'll be like, okay, go straight there, and there'll be very few people that won't. I I really do believe that Escobar should be champion like twice by now. So,
Yes.
but Breaker right now for me is possibly the future, but the way they're setting him up, it seems like they're going to try to fast track him by the end of the year to be on the main roster, to have Roman beat until Mania next year. So
By The
it's
Rock.
one of those things where it's like I'm reserving my judgment with his growth over everything else, because I don't want to get all my chips all in and all of a sudden. Am I happy for him winning this? Yes. Was it the right move? No, it wasn't. But they, like you said, it should have done a DQ or anything. Was the match all overall in general? It was very physical, fast paced. It was
Yes.
really great. But for me, I thought Escobar should have won, which way, shape, or form, and it should have pushed the narrative into possible four-way match that everybody's been screaming their head off from the mountains for. Um, you have you have a match next week that's a fantasy match for some, and now you have a match where Escobar is going to say, "Well, I'm not done with you. You're not on my time," and it's just pushing the narrative for 2 or 3 matches. Now, next week's match, I said Ciampa and Ziggler. That shouldn't be next week. That should be like night one of Stand and Deliver,
Really
and then
should.
have them go into the next night having Breaker face Escobar and another, whoever wins that match in a triple threats, being Ziggler or whatnot. I mean, it, there's so many things they could do with this main event match. They pushed some narrative on it, but they didn't push all of it. But overall, it was a great match itself. So, other than that, I mean, between all the segment stuff, like I said, it was a really good show, and I can't wait to see what they have planned for next week, other than the main event and the Dusty Cup. So,
And shout out to Wendy Shu for being the prize spot of the show. Wendy
Yes.
oh,
Shu,
wait a minute,
all that.
didn't they also hint at your friend showing up
Oh,
next week?
and the lovely Nikita Lyons will be debuting live on NXT next week. So
Akina Laya.
shout out to Faith. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Shout out to Nikita Lyons, friend of the channel. With
Yeah,
that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great NXT. I mean, shit. Like I said it. I said it.
very
Little,
spoiled
little bit
too.
of little bit of the love of NXT.
Right here, Dominic
Throwback
Mysterio
and
should have
The
went to NXT first, in my opinion. Dominic Mysterio should have went to.
Yes.
He should have went
Performance
to
Center.
205 Live first.
I want to point this out since he brought that out. So G4, and this is going to hint out if this is also watching on the Twitch, the G4 and 2K announced
I
the
watched
ratings
it
for the wrestlers today. And Ray had like an like mid 80s rating, and the first thing out of his mouth
all of his
saying,
versions from his career had like mid 80s and almost above 90.
and one of the things they said is that he says, if Dominic's higher than me, I'm going to riot and I'm going to
going to
beat
riot.
I'm
going to beat my kid right here.
Dominic's rating in the game is a 79. It's interesting to see how they're rating all that stuff. Some of those ratings are off a little bit. You ever play?
Some of them are fair. I will get that. Some of them are fair, but yeah.
They put on Pam like on the spot right there with, rate these people. You knew she was gonna do one of them dirty. You knew she was gonna do freaking Sasha right as best as possible, and Charlotte, But
Dominic is a 79 overall.
But other
I'm
than that,
excited for the game. Everyone looks great as they did in 2K20, and this took them since 2K20 to be like, hey, we messed up. We're gonna take 2 years of a break, but release Battleground, and that didn't even do good to release 2K22.
Well, I'm surprised I haven't seen any of the NXT ratings that were either if it's been published or not. Because you'd think they would be a part of it. I could just see Grayson Waller literally.
Is a definite confirmed though. Cross is definitely confirmed for the game.
I also heard that not only is Cross confirmed for the game, but so is Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, the baby.
The Undisputed Era is still in the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that means I can do Killer Cross versus the Fiend as my main event fantasy match. Yes.
Well, that's what video games do for you. Other than that, that pretty much sums up the today's show. So,
well, tell everybody where they can find you at Throwback. Let the fans know where they can find you every day.
I'm here every Tuesday night, running helping out with the NXT for BodySlam.net. Get your slam chats in there for help the site and actually help it grow. Everybody does a really great job. They work really hard. I'm surprised we didn't do a commercial at all today. That's interesting.
Right, commercial free.
The NXT show was commercial free, so hey,
Was it really though? Was it really commercial free?
No, it really wasn't.
Thursday night is shaping up to be a really big show. I think, and I hope that this pulls through, but I think I landed a huge guest, and to me, this person is one of the top 5 people in the.
Is he as big as Omos?
Omos is so big.
Omos is so big.
I think in the community that we have, he is literally one of the top 5 people in this community.
Is it who I think it is? Is it Sean Ross Sapp?
Drew. I literally think honestly, Drew. If you had to ask me who's who the top 5 people that of all time, I know. And honestly, just to be very blunt for Wicked Crazy Pinfalls, out of the top 5 people who've been on the show a lot, I think Drew, Anakin, and Aaron are already they're like the Mount Rushmore of the channel, just because of the fact that they're always on there. And they're always willing to give their time.
The Mount Rushmore. That's high praise right there, brother. Wow.
Rob too. So I
was gonna say, where's Rob Wilkins at?
Rob's the co-creator too. I tell people that because it's true. Without Rob and Sean and having those conversations with Warren with them, it wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't even be in this position. But Thursday night's going to be a huge, huge show. Hopefully, I've got a confirmation of the person agreeing to be on. and I really hope everybody tunes in, enjoys it every Thursday night. Wicked Crazy Pinfalls, youtube.com/throwback27, or like it says right here, throwback 978 on the Twitch. See a great cast of characters. You've got Aaron Entertainment, Anakin JMT, Big Money Drew, the head of the table of Wicked Crazy Pinfalls. You even see the franchise pop in from time to time. You see Parrish pop
I like
in.
that show. You guys are all right. You guys are all right.
And you might even see, and I'm hoping I can, if this works out for time zone reasons, even Maggie. So I mean,
you mean Maggie from the UK?
Wow.
I mean Maggie from Bulgaria.
Well, same thing.
From Maggie from Fightful, the Fightful show on Fightful Overbooks show with Rob Wilkins. Show
Maggie's
that they
pretty
have
funny.
is really good.
Isn't Maggie the bartender?
Yes. Maggie is the only person on my show that anytime something happens, I literally have to, and if I'm no joke, go back on this and I'll send you the thing. We did a show then that I wasn't there because I wasn't feeling too great. But I was listening in because I was like, oh, Maggie and stuff like that. And I saw the title that Anakin, who's one of the producers, gave credit to. And it says, Maggie is mad. She needs to start venting. Watch out. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, boy. And then the first thing they talk about is COVID. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming back on. I flip up my laptop and stuff like that. It's Maggie has got a heart of gold.
Maggie will forever be put over by everyone.
That's right. Look, I'm gonna tell you, like I came to the Wicked Crazy podcast group chat one day, and I was just messing with Maggie. Like I followed her on Twitter, and then I was like, oh, I see how it is. You can't follow me back. She was in the DMs like, I'm so sorry. I didn't see it. I was like, Maggie, it's okay. I know you're like fucking 7 hours ahead of us, so it's all right. She was so apologetic. Such a sweet girl. So sweet. You guys go follow her on Twitter. Go follow her on Twitter, and you better be nice to her, or you will have the franchise to fucking come look after you.
Or better yet, she can handle herself with all those conversations we have in that chat. Oh my lord!
Right? Yes. She's the one person in the chat that I'm like, okay, she can handle her shit.
Hey, but other than that, check out the Twitch channel. Check out bodyslam.net's Twitch channel. We're gonna talk to Cass about how to start getting some gaming content up there, get it up and running, and then you guys could, eventually after we get affiliation and stuff like that, you could subscribe and help out help these great people.
Hey, I got an idea. When GM mode, when that stuff is all golden, we should have an entire bodyslam.net GM mode thing.
I am happy in that they just announced this gaming wise, and that Nintendo just announced that they are bringing back they're calling it Nintendo Switch Sports, but it's the sequel to Wii Sports.
And, it is?
Are you kidding?
Yes.
It is? No. Like, really?
No, I'm not kidding.
I love Wii Sports, bro.
Wii Sports was fun.
My kids hate me playing Wii bowling with them, bro. And Wii tennis.
Bowling, Wii Sports.
Smashing kids.
Bowling is my sport, man. That's my second sport right there.
Shane, I'll make you crawl into a hole and cry for weeks playing Wii bowling.
I mean, I'll kick your ass with Wii bowling,
There we go. Now, let's go. Let's go. I got an 80-inch TV in my house. Come over to my house. We'll just get it in.
I almost bowled a perfect game of Wii bowling. Almost. I was almost bowled a perfect game.
Almost.
And it's already out for pre-order.
Oh, man.
Well, shit. Too bad I just spent my money on Adobe because I'm going to make my videos looking good from now on.
I know. I saw that. Congratulations, my man.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, Shane is accredited, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He's an affiliate. Shane, tell the people where they can find you at.
And then you can find me on Twitch at Husky_518. There's a whole story on that, but I'll tell you on the Twitch channel on that. And you can find me on YouTube, Husky518, where I'm taking step by step on the subscribers. I'm on the road to 15 subscribers. I'm going step by step on that.
So wait. How do you get affiliated? How many subscribers do you need for that?
You need
50.
3-point average viewers to come in every day, weekly that you're live.
Yeah, and you need at least 50 subscribers. So right
Yeah,
now
50
I'm
subscribers.
2 away from 50 subscribers, and I'm averaging around 2. So
Yeah.
we got
hold on. So you're 2 away from 50 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching this podcast, I don't care if you don't even like Twitch. Do me a solid. Go create a Twitch account. Go follow these 2 dudes on Twitch
Yeah,
right
what are you doing
now.
on Facebook Gaming? Facebook Gaming sucks. Like, literally, it does.
Like very soon, because I'm gonna get a capture card for the Switch and stuff like that. But very soon, there are a bunch of games coming out. I'm thinking about even doing something where to stream for E3 and just have that go and just have fun with it. There was a trailer dropped for Old Republic, the Legacy of the Sith that just dropped. There's been
now I got my
so many
PS5. I
gaming
can't wait to play
stuff.
that.
You've got the 2K, 22 coming out for WWE. You've got,
Almost 19 days. Almost
MLB.
19 days.
You have MLB 22 coming out soon. So there's so many things that you can be on there watching us do. As soon as I get a capture card, we might even be doing other stuff like My Hero Academia on my Twitch stuff, or having Anakin pop in and do some stuff. But just support all of our stuff, because without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this.
If you guys are in for Uno night on the PlayStation or Xbox, I'd be down for that.
I mean, it'd be fun to see Drew do that too.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's man, let's get it in, dudes. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, let's go ahead and pay some of these bills real quick so we can get out of here. You can find Throwback at Throwback978. You can find Shane Husky at Husky518. You can find me at the franchise player Double B Bad Blood. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at the Bad Blood Brand. You can find me on Facebook at the Bad Blood Brand. Guess what? Instagram too, Bad Blood Brand. You can find me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night here on BySam.net on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night. You can find me here on Tuesdays with this dude right here. This dude right here. Psst, that guy right there. Throwback. And sometimes that dude right there, the guy in the chair, Shane Husky. But
this is not even my regular week, and this is like my second time.
Or you might be seeing somebody from the Wicked Crazy Crew. We've had that popped up.
You never know who will pop up on this crazy show. But I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday, if you're on the West Coast, we're talking 9 a.m.
Oh, 9 a.m. I'll be at work.
9 a.m. for a live, and I said live. We like to call it Saudi Mania, but the Elimination Chamber live watch along. We're gonna be getting it in. Myself, I got my boy from the Call Up podcast. Adam, according to Woods, the MMA, the Maharaja of MMA, is joining us.
I'm gonna beg my boss to watch along with you guys.
So I can. It's gonna be lit.
The best part is I am the boss for where I work. So on my lunch, I'll try to finagle it for that whole 2 or 3 hour block, and then I'll just pop in through my phone like last time.
And every time when a customer goes by and when they hear a swear, I'll be like, "What'd you say?" I didn't say nothing. That was my phone.
Jesus Christ, Shane's gonna be getting himself in trouble.
It all depends on the time, because usually when I'm working on Saturdays, it's usually quiet after a certain point.
And then, ladies and gentlemen,
oh yeah, it's not even 9 o'clock.
It's that time, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not even 9.
It is time for me to talk to you.
It's almost midnight.
About donating to BodySlam.net to help keep the website going, so we can continue to bring you a wide and entertaining variety of MMA and pro wrestling content. Ladies and gentlemen, you can help subscribe. You can help this channel just get bigger and bigger. Help the boys out and the ladies out here by going to www.slamchats.com. That is www.slamchats.com. Become Slamchastic. Yeah. And with that being said, for your boy in the chair, Shane Husky, for the man with the golden hand, Throwback, and your boy, the franchise.
It's so
Yeah. That's right, Drew. Central music in the voice of Bad Blood. Signing off once again.